time to get out your pad and pencil, cause it's time for the GOAT of soccer picks. Here he is, your host, Tijuana Rap.
Hey everybody, another episode of On the Pitch with TJ Picks. Guys, it's been a wonderful month of December in the VIP. The free plays have been smacking as well. We got a lot of soccer this weekend. We had a great Liga MX final this past weekend. We'll talk about that a little bit later. The soccer kicks off, guys, actually on Thursday, which is tomorrow. There's a Australian A Soccer League. So that's where we're going to start off in the Australian League. Thursday, tomorrow, MacArthur versus Brisbane Roar. This is a special night. Usually these games don't kick off till Friday, but MacArthur is taking on Brisbane Roar in the Australian A-League tomorrow. Brisbane Roar is in third place after 8 games, 8 goals scored, 3 conceded. MacArthur is in 10th place, only has scored 4 goals in 7 games, have given up 7. So both have actually been playing very good defensively. MacArthur, the last game was in the AFC Championship game. It wasn't the Australian League. They won 2-1, but their last A-League game, MacArthur went 0-0 with Melbourne Victory. Prior to that, they lost 0-2 to Perth Glory. Brisbane Roar last game in the A-League 0-0. Prior to that, 1-0. Brisbane Roar last 4 games under 2 goals. There hasn't been more than 1 goal in their last 4 games. MacArthur has also been playing good defense. This is a tricky one here. Brisbane did beat MacArthur the last time they faced off, 1-0. Brisbane is in 3rd place. MacArthur's in 10th place. The current odds are MacArthur plus 144. It's hard to pick a side here, guys, based on everything that's up for grabs here. I'm going to go with, even there hasn't been too many goals scored between these two teams. They both need to get a win here. Give me a both to score. This could possibly be a 1-1 game here, but I think these guys finally do each score a goal, even though we haven't seen that in previous games. Give me both to score. MacArthur versus Brisbane Roar. Moving on into Friday, we'll stay with the Australian A-League. Western Sydney Wanderers versus Auckland. Auckland in 2nd place, 12 goals, 7 conceded after 8 games. Western Sydney Wanderers, after 8 games, have 6 goals scored, 8 conceded. The money line here for this game is Western Sydney Wanderers plus 148, Auckland plus 153. Last time these two teams faced off against each other, Auckland won 1-0. Wanderers coming off a 0-0 draw with Brisbane Roar. Auckland has won 3 out of the last 5, 1 loss, 1 draw. Western Sydney Wanderers 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. Auckland has seen both to score in the last 5, though. And that's what I'm going to go with, guys, based on the lines. Give me both to score, Western Sydney Wanderers and Auckland FC. Next up, we have Newcastle Jets versus Sydney. Newcastle Jets are in 8th place, 14 goals scored, 17 conceded. Sydney, 15 goals scored, only 5 conceded, but they are on the road. I do like this one for an over. Give me over goals in Newcastle Jets versus Sydney FC. Friday takes us to La Liga Spain, Valencia versus Mallorca. Very defensive league here. Mallorca is in 14th place, 18 goals scored, 23 conceded. Valencia, 15 goals scored, 25 conceded, 17th place. Last time these two teams faced off against each other was a 1-0 win by Valencia. Valencia did win their last game, Copa del Rey 2-0. Prior to that, they lost 2-1 to Atletico Madrid. Mallorca didn't do too well in the Copa del Rey. They lost 1-0 to Deportivo La Coruña. Prior to that, though, they did beat Elche 3-1. Last head-to-head, like I said, Valencia won 1-0. Prior to that, Mallorca won 2-1 You know what, guys? I think this is going to be an under type game, but I do think we could get a boat to score. Give me a boat to score Valencia versus Mallorca. Next up, Bologna versus Inter Milan, Italian League. Bologna, Inter Milan, the last time these two teams faced off against each other was a 1-0 surprising win by Bologna. Bologna coming off a 1-0 loss to Juventus, and Inter Milan a 2-1 win over Genoa. You know what, guys? I'm going to stay with the boat to score here. Give me a boat to score in the Italian game, Bologna versus Inter Milan. Next up, final game of Friday takes us to Bundesliga, Dortmund versus Mönchengladbach. Dortmund versus Mönchengladbach. And last week on Friday, we did have the over. We finally broke the Freaky Friday curse for Bundesliga games. We finally had an over in the last game. I believe it was Union Berlin versus Leipzig. Dortmund, though, on the other hand, has been a little not so good with scoring goals. The last game, they had a 1-1 draw versus Freiburg. Prior to that, they had a 2-2 draw versus Bodo Glimt in the Champions League. They have seen themselves go 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss last 5. Mönchengladbach has 2 losses, 2 wins, 1 draw. This game right here has Dortmund as a favorite. Dortmund should win this game as a parlay piece. They're at -200. I do think Dortmund will win this game. And I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to go Dortmund team total over for Friday and Dortmund money line here. That takes us to Saturday, guys. Moving on to Saturday quickly. Melbourne City taking on Melbourne Victory. That's a +104 and a +218 in the Australian A-League. Melbourne City coming off a 1-0 win over the Newcastle Jets in their last A-League game. Prior to that, they had a 0-0 draw versus Central Coast Mariners. Melbourne Victory coming off a 2-1 win over Adelaide. Melbourne Victory has seen 3 losses, 1 win, 1 draw last 5. Melbourne City has seen 2 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss, so they're both struggling a little bit. Melbourne Victory's all the way down to bottom last place. 6 goals scored, 12 conceded. Melbourne City, 9 goals scored, only 5 conceded. You know what, guys? This game here, we got to go with the Melbourne City money line. Give me Melbourne City money line +100. Next up, Perth Glory versus Adelaide. Perth Glory is in 5th place. 7 goals scored, 11 conceded. Adelaide, 12 goals scored, 11 conceded. I'm going to go with the boat to score here. Perth Glory, Adelaide United. Then we go to Wellington Phoenix, Central Coast Mariners. And this one right here is going to be our over game, guys, on Saturday. Wellington Phoenix, Central Coast Mariners. Give me the over. Then we go to the Premier League. Newcastle United at home taking on Chelsea. Chelsea's 16 games have scored 27, conceded 15. Newcastle, 21 goals scored, 20 conceded. Last time these two teams faced off against each other, Newcastle won 2-0. And Newcastle's last game, they lost 1-0 to Sunderland. Chelsea coming off a 2-0 win over Everton. Guys, we're going to keep it simple. Give me both to score. Newcastle United and Chelsea. Next up, Wolverhampton Wolves, Brentford. Brentford, 15th place, 22 goals scored, 25 conceded. Wolves, 9 goals scored, 35 conceded. Worst defense in the England Premier League. Brentford should get the win here. Give me Brentford money line and give me over goals here as well. 2 leans in that one. Next up, Manchester City, West Ham United. Manchester City is in 2nd place, 38 goals scored, 16 conceded. And then we got West Ham United, 19 goals scored, 32 conceded. The lines for this game is Manchester City -476. Guys, they should definitely win this game. They have been conceding though, so I think West Ham can sneak a goal. But we're going to go with the Manchester City spread. Manchester City money line for a parlay piece, grandma style. Bournemouth versus Burnley. We're going to go with a both to score, guys. Bournemouth versus Burnley. Give me both to score. Brighton versus Sunderland. Brighton is minus 159. Sunderland is plus 420. Brighton coming off a 2-0 loss to Liverpool, but a 1-1 draw over to West Ham. Sunderland has been scoring goals. They did score against Newcastle and Liverpool. Bournemouth. You know what, guys? I got to go with the both to score here. Brighton, Sunderland. Tottenham versus Liverpool, man. Two teams that have done us dirty quite a bit. Tottenham is in 11th place. Liverpool, also known as Liverpool, has been playing very awful this year. Have been playing very bad last few couple of games. I think they did get a win in their last game versus Brighton, but that was after a few losses, draws, a few other things like that. Tottenham coming off a 3-0 defeat to Nottingham Forest. I think Liverpool should get the win here, and it's crazy odds. They're plus 101. I got to take it, even though Tottenham's at home. Give me Liverpool, money line plus 100. Then we go to Everton and Arsenal. Arsenal's a minus 161 favorite, guys. You got to take Arsenal money line, especially versus Everton. Leeds United, Crystal Palace. We got to go with the both to score, guys. Give me both to score, Leeds United, Crystal Palace. Italy for Saturday, Lazio versus Cremonese. Lazio versus Cremonese. Lazio's in 8th place. Cremonese is in 11th place. Last time these two teams faced off, Lazio won 3-2. Lazio has 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw last 5. 5 out of 5 under 2.5 goals for Lazio. Cremonese, 2 wins, 3 losses last 5. They've seen 2 out of their 5 go over 2.5. Lazio is at home. Give me Lazio money line, minus 161. Juventus, AS Roma, 2 top teams in the Italian Serie A. Give me both to score, Juventus, AS Roma. Spain, La Liga Spain for Saturday, Real Oviedo versus Celta Vigo. Celta Vigo, 8th place, 20 goals scored, 19 conceded. Real Oviedo, 19th place, 7 goals scored, 26 conceded. And we're going to go here with a Celta Vigo moneyline win. Celta Vigo plus 100. Real Sociedad versus Levante. Last time they faced off, Levante had a 2-1 win. Levante did not score Copa del Rey their last game. They didn't score versus Osasuna. They've only scored in 1 game last 5 games. Real Sociedad is the better team here. Give me Real Sociedad money line. Osasuna, Alaves. We're going to go with both to score, guys. Both to score. Real Madrid versus Sevilla. Real Madrid did have a big win today. They did get scored on. You know what, guys? I'm going to go with over goals here. Give me Real Madrid money line as a grandma parlay piece. Then we go to the Bundesliga, guys. Bundesliga, final league. Actually, no, there might be one more league. Bundesliga for Saturday, Cologne versus Union Berlin. We're going to go with the both to score in Cologne versus Union Berlin. Hamburger versus Frankfurt. Same thing, guys. Both to score, Hamburger, Eintracht Frankfurt. Wolfsburg versus Freiburg. We got to go over goals in that one. Should have a both to score as well. Augsburg versus Werder Bremen is the next game. And we're going to go with another both to score, guys. Lots of both to scores this weekend. Stuttgart versus Hoffenheim. We're going to go over goals in Stuttgart versus Hoffenheim. And RB Leipzig versus Bayern Leverkusen should be a good game. We're going to go over goals there as well. And the French League doesn't have games this week because they're involved in a cup tournament. So that'll do it for Saturday. Saturday soccer action. Let me just see here if there's anything that I'm missing on Saturday? There's not. We covered it all, guys. Let's move on to Sunday. Sunday for the Premier League, England Premier League for Sunday has one game: Aston Villa versus Manchester United. Aston Villa versus Manchester United. You know what, guys? This should be easily a boat to score. Manchester United has been involved in games that have seen a lot of goals. Their last game was a 4-4 draw versus Bournemouth. The last 4 out of the last 5 have seen a boat to score, guys. This one's screaming boat to score. Give me boat to score, Aston Villa, Manchester United. Serie A for Sunday, Cagliari versus Pisa. We got to go with Cagliari moneyline. Sassuolo versus Torino. Sassuolo versus Torino. We're going to go with a boat to score. All right, guys, not sure what happened there. We're bounced back. We were on the Italian A-League for Sunday. We just went over Sassuolo versus Torino. That was going to be a boat to score. Cagliari was the money line to beat Pisa in the Serie A Italian League. Then we have Fiorentina versus Udinese, and we're going to go with Fiorentina money line. Fiorentina money line. Genoa versus Atalanta. We got to go with the Atalanta money line at that price. La Liga Spain for Sunday, Girona versus Atletico Madrid. We got to go with the Atletico Madrid money line. Barcelona versus Villarreal. Crazy line for Barcelona. You can get him at minus 115. You know what? I got to go both to score based on that line, guys. That's too low of a line. Something's going on. Villarreal's at home. They could get a goal. Give me both to score, Villarreal, Barcelona. Rayo Vallecano versus Elche. We're going to go both to score there. Real Betis and Getafe. Give me Real Betis on the money line. And on Sunday, we have Mainz versus St. Pauli. Mainz versus St. Pauli. We're going to go with a boat to score there. Heidenheim versus Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich is minus 769. Heidenheim is at home. Even though they're away, guys, Bayern Munich, we got to go with the over 1.5 goals in the first half and give me the over team total for Bayern Munich. And that's going to do it, guys, for Sunday soccer action. I did want to talk about, there's actually a fight going on this week. I know, totally forgot about this, but I got to bring it up. We got Jake Paul fighting in a big fight against, I believe the big guy's name is Johnson.
Mr. Anthony Joshua.
Who is it? Joshua, right?
Yeah, Anthony Joshua.
Anthony Joshua, that's who it is. He's a big heavyweight. He's like, what, 4 or 5 inches taller than Jake Paul?
Yeah, I mean, he's much bigger and way, like, not even the same class as far as fighter, obviously. But the big thing is he's coming off the losses. But what he did to Francis Ngannou, it's going to be interesting because you look at the lines here and you're going to look at where is Vegas going to make the money? Where can you avoid the trap in it? But then also cash. I was even looking at the fight maybe going the distance, but it's definitely not. Like, he's going to knock him out at some point. So I settled in at under 6. Sort of jump in here, but I figured I'd jump in with you.
That's perfectly good because it's a good fight to talk about. I've been doing very well on Jake Paul fights, and I've nailed the majority. I'm like 95% on Jake Paul fights. So one thing you have to think about this fight is that it's a money grab. It's on Netflix. I mean, Jake Paul is like plus 700, plus 800. The Anthony Johnson dude is a huge favorite for a good reason because he's an actual boxer. And Jake Paul doesn't usually fight actual boxers. This guy's big. He hasn't fought anybody that Jake Paul hasn't fought anybody that's bigger than him, stronger than him. This is the first guy. But in the end of the day, it's a money grab. Anthony Johnson's in for it for the ride. They act like they're enemies, when they do face-offs and things like that. But hey, these rounds go fast, and the best bet that I've found for this fight is on Bovada. Over 2.5 rounds is at minus 150. If you get that early, man, I think that's the best bet of the night. Going on what you said with the going the distance,
What I was gonna say, like the reason why I started at the going the distance was I was just like, how outlandish would it be if it went the distance, and then can I work in reverse back from there, right? And Anthony Joshua is he's a pugilist. He's powerful, athletic, and way bigger. And we know Jake Paul's it's a money thing. So where can the books make money? Everybody expects that Joshua's going to knock him out in rounds 1 or 2, and you are right on the mark. I think that the fight starts round 3. If you can get it in some books, or over 2.5 is where to look at, because I think Joshua is going to sort of feel him out, let him throw some big bombs early, because I think Jake's going to come up pretty heavy, and he's going to have to. And yeah, man, I think that over there is nice. I think the fight starts round 3, or there's a middle ground in the middle of the fight where the fight's going to end.
So Anthony Joshua was 6'6", and he weighed 252 versus Nagano. And I guess this fight's been agreed upon at 245, so he'll have to cut a little bit of weight. But they're all going to be, they're both going to be right around 245, 250. And Jake Paul, you know what? He really hasn't knocked anybody out. None of the guys that he's fought recently, he hasn't knocked anybody out. So I don't see him knocking out Anthony Joshua unless it's rigged and they just choreograph it that way. But at the same time, Anthony Joshua's also not going to knock out Jake Paul right away, because Jake Paul will hug him. When the boxers hug each other and they just kind of dive and they don't they keep grabbing and hugging. I think we're going to see a lot of that from Jake Paul because he's going to be nervous. And it's going to be on Netflix. They don't want the fight to end fast. So that's why I really like the over 2.5 on this fight. I think it's the best bet if you could get it. Round to start number 3, over 2.5 rounds on Bovada right now. Once it hits that midpoint of round number 3, you've cashed. So that's the play. If this was a real fight and it wasn't choreographed, it wasn't faked, Anthony Joshua should win. But I think, he hasn't. Was the Nagano fight, was that a real boxing match, or was it an exhibition
The one
fight?
thing I'd be careful about is I think this is a legitimate boxing match. Although Jake Paul's involved, like Anthony Joshua is a former champion, this is no joke. The only thing that will be slightly off is if he carries him. And he might carry him, and if he does, that plays into the over for you. I think he lets Jake sort of figure it out a little bit and sort of feel around in the first 2 rounds. But this isn't fixed the same way the other ones were. The other one. I don't want to say fixed because not that we'd have liabilities, but the other ones were sort of washed MMA fighters or retired MMA fighters. Tyron Woodley is nobody to worry about unless he's taking you down. And Anderson Silva, way past his prime, is whatever. So my whole point is this is a lot more real. But Joshua selling the first round knockout leans into what you're saying, so Vegas can make some money.
And like you were saying, if Vegas is trying to make some money, I think everybody's betting on Jake Paul to get knocked out in the first 3 or 4 rounds. So if he could get past those 4 rounds, Vegas, the bookies will cash in big. Jake Paul is 6'1". So he's losing 5 inches. So I'm thinking the reach is going to be a big advantage for Joshua as well. And Jake Paul 6'1". He's a cruiserweight, so he's normally between 190, 200 pounds. You're talking about him fighting a guy that's closer to 250. So that's 50 pounds above what he's normally. He did weigh in at 227 versus Mike Tyson. So he does have to. He's going to be fighting a bigger dude. And I just think that they're going to, play it out, feel each other out, because Andrew or Joshua doesn't want to get knocked out by a hook either. So he's going to be cautious. And I love that bet over 2.5 rounds for that fight.
Yeah, the only saving grace for the height difference for Paul is when you throw a big overhand right, it lands pretty square on a tall man's chin. If you ever been in a
Yeah.
bar fight, you might know that too, and I know you know that, I'm sure. But the reality of
Uh-huh.
the fact is I think that I think you're right on the mark, man. I think that's where Vegas makes the money is in rounds 1 or 2, because everybody's going to be betting it, and it's going to go over, and they're gonna cash on that over.
Oh yeah. I think that's going to be a good
I
one.
like it.
I wanted to ask you something. Two fights ago, I think we talked about it a little bit. MMA, UFC. We're just jumping around here since we got done with some soccer. The way that Pantoja lost, what do you think about that?
I'll be really honest. That burned me pretty hard. But that's one of those things where MMA is MMA, and that's where when you find lines where if you can find that there's a line that's off and get big value on a dog in MMA, that's where the value lies in MMA because it's so volatile. But I mean that's also where soccer is soccer, and I love it so much better. If I looked at the past year comparison to where MMA wins lie and where soccer wins lie, it's like polar opposite end of the spectrum. They are the cousins that don't hang out. They're opposite end of the spectrum, and soccer is just a clean investment versus, man, MMA you can think that Merab Dvalishvili is going to ride and Pantoja is going to ride. That was the parlay, and bam, that did not work out. So
And I mean, also, since you're new to soccer betting, since you've been producing my show and working with me, I mean, you could easily say too when I say that, hey, why bet baseball? Why bet NBA? Why bet NFL when you can bet a sport where you have more of the chance to have the advantage on your side? I mean, you've actually seen it firsthand what I'm talking about, and the consistency of my VIP wins on a regular basis are, compared to any other sport. That's why a lot of people start betting soccer. I have a lot of VIP members who never bet soccer. Now they're watching it with me on a daily basis. So I know
if I
you
could
have a
tell you
little
the
take on
swing,
that.
it's relevant that you bring that up because the advantage I get being your producer is I get to tail your plays and get to see your plays. It's one of the advantages, right? And the swing that I had in the week last week, I absolutely smashed the slate with you guys and was up a lot. The one fight, even all the way up in the MMA fights, I locked in on all of them. That Pantoja injury took a lot away. Big
And
swing, big swing.
it's just a freak accident. I know a little bit about UFC. I've been watching it for a lot of years. I've actually watched UFC since I was a kid. I remember watching UFC number one. I don't know, you're a lot younger than I am, but
I
UFC
wouldn't say
one.
that, man. I might be right up in the same age as you.
So UFC, do you remember UFC one and two,
Yeah.
where they didn't have a weight class and they just went all
Nope.
out and you had like the big guys fighting? I mean, and then Gracie was in there. I've been watching it since those days, and so I've been following UFC. I just don't think it's fair. I know it's part of UFC, but when a guy, has like a freak fall and injures himself, to me, it feels like they should win. There should be a no contest. Now, if the guy were to like be grappling him and
He
trying to
did grab him
subdue,
though. To,
but
to to throw
he
us like
kind of pushed him. He pushed him
doesn't
down.
matter. It's contact, right? So it's
Yeah,
you're directly because you caught the kick and you pushed him away, regardless of how much impact you put on him. It's direct result of what you did. Now, if he just walked, the bell rang, and he took one step, and his knee gate buckled, and he was injured, and there was no contact, you might see a no contest. But because
yeah.
there was contact and it already had happened in the like contact had already happened in the fight, automatically the win is awarded.
And I get it, and it just sucks to see him go down like that because what I was saying is it didn't look. I mean, it wasn't like a kick to the leg that broke his leg. It wasn't like he was submitting him and then his bone snapped. It was, yeah, he did catch his leg and kind of pushed him off, and then as he was falling, as he was putting his hand in that position, it snapped. If he would have like fell any other way, probably wouldn't have snapped. He just got unlucky. But I do get what you're saying. It was it was an attack. It was a move to to fight, and I get it. It just sucks to see Pantoja lose that way.
Yeah, it hurt, man. And that is the other thing. Like if you're worried about your ticket, look at the guy who was set to become potentially the go to that division. And now his title reign ends with a freak act. It's just the shitty way to go.
Yeah, and now we don't know how long he's going to be out. Have they said how long he's going to be out?
He's already training with one arm. So
Oh, wow.
he's not messing around. He's going to rehab everything and he's going to work his way through it. But they're likely going to have it's up in the air right now. There's about 3 guys in the mix potentially for the next shot at Van.
Okay, that'll be interesting. What was I going to say? You know what? There is, since I gotta let everybody know, we got the holidays coming up. We got Christmas, we got New Year's. So I will be taking a break from the show. VIP members will still be VIP action day in, day out. But there is a couple soccer games on Monday and Tuesday that I'm going to go over.
Yeah, there's a little
So
bit of English Premier League, I think.
Yeah, there's English Premier League on Monday. So let's go ahead and finish those off. English Premier League on Monday takes us Fulham versus Nottingham Forest. Fulham plus 131, Nottingham Forest plus 221. Nottingham Forest, Fulham, the last time they played against each other in a Premier League game, it was a 2-1 win to Fulham. These guys right here are 14th and 16th place. Fulham, 23 goals, 26 conceded. Nottingham, only 17 goals scored, 25 conceded. And Fulham has seen a boat to score in 4 of the last 5. Nottingham Forest has only seen a boat to score in 1 out of the last 5. You know what, guys? This game right here is going to go to Fulham. Fulham money line. That's going to be on Monday. And we do have a La Liga Spain game on Monday as well. Atletico Bilbao versus Espanyol. Espanyol's in 5th place, 20 goals scored, 16 conceded. Atletico Bilbao, 17 games, 15 goals scored, 22 conceded. So Espanyol is in 5th place. Atletico Bilbao is in 7th place. Last time these two teams played against each other was a 1-1 draw. Atletico Bilbao coming off a 0-2 loss to Celta Vigo. Espanyol 1-0 win. Espanyol has 4 wins in the last 5 games. Atletico Bilbao 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. So Espanyol is playing a little bit better, but they are at Atletico Bilbao, and Atletico Bilbao are the favorites. So this is where it gets switched up a little bit. We're going to go both to score, Atletico Bilbao versus Espanyol. And on the 23rd, there is a Australian game. We're going to bounce around. Australian League game. Melbourne City versus MacArthur. That's 6 days away on Tuesday, December 23rd. Melbourne City, 9 goals scored, 5 conceded. MacArthur has only 4 goals scored, 7 conceded. This is going to be at Melbourne City. We got to go with Melbourne City money line here. And we do have a England EPL Cup game on that Tuesday. Well, it's going to be a big one. Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. This is the quarterfinals. Arsenal minus 175, Crystal Palace plus 452. Arsenal is still doing very well, the number 1 team in the England Premier League. Crystal Palace just went down 3-0 to Manchester City. Crystal Palace did have a good stretch, but did lose the last game. They have 3 wins and 2 losses. Arsenal, 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. We got to go here with the Arsenal money line. It's at minus 170, so if you grab it early, you're going to be good. You're going to be good there. Let me just scan the games here. I think that's going to do it. The Arsenal win there should be a good game. Should be a good game for Arsenal. Man, what a Liga MX final, guys. I got to finish it off with that. Toluca versus Tigres. I did tell you that the final game, it was 2-leg series, was going to be over 2.5. This was the second leg. It was on 12-14, December 14th, 2-1. It started with a goal from the Tigres and then 2 goals from the Toluca, which put them at a 2-2 aggregate. They went into extra time. It was a crazy game. We're talking about 12 penalty shots, 12 rounds of penalty shots. There was a couple misses earlier, then no one was missing at all. And it was exciting. Toluca ended up winning back-to-back championship here. Toluca reaches 12 championship titles, match with Chivas. Of course, Club América, I'm wearing the Club América jersey, old school Club América. They have the most championships in the Liga MX at 16. So Toluca is, trying to get a little bit closer. Tigres was going for their 10th championship, I believe. But this was a really good game. We did bet the corners kicks on this one as well. We hit that as well. The good thing about the Liga MX, guys, is that it's basically year-round. Think about this. The championship just ended right now, but Liga MX will return in the beginning of January, guys. They take like half a month off, and then they'll be back. We've been crushing leagues that nobody else in the world bets, guys. We bet Bolivian soccer. Got to be on the right games there, but we're crushing Bolivian soccer. We hit the Romanian soccer. The Australian Soccer League is in the middle of the Australian Soccer League. And we have the World Cup this summer, guys. That's going to be exciting. The World Cup is going to be one of the best World Cups of all time. There's going to be a lot of games. It's very saturated with teams, which is going to give us a lot of goals when there's strong competition versus the weak competition. But you got to remember with the soccer, you got to be careful, especially in cup games. For example, Barcelona played in a cup game versus a third division Spanish team with some of their top players, and they didn't hit the over, guys. That happens a lot. It's like, it's like an animal playing with their food, knowing they're clearly dominating them, but something weird and funky happens. The over could be 4.5 goals, and they won, I think, 2-0, guys. That happens sometimes. It's freaky. It can happen. Don't forget to join the free Telegram, guys. VIP has got a special deal right now for the rest of December. January is right around the corner, guys. And the World Cup, I'm very excited for that. I will hopefully be collaborating with some other cappers that don't do soccer to offer my soccer packages with them. So if you know some cappers out there that don't do soccer that want to roll with the soccer guy, let me know. Let them know that I'm a good guy for the soccer. So don't forget, guys, there's a free Telegram, free picks. We got this show every Wednesday. We will be taking a little break for the holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all. Join the VIP. Give yourself the best gift that you can give yourself, guys. The VIP action. It's affordable. It's cheap. And we make a lot of money, guys. So thanks again for your support, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Time to get out your pad and pencil, cause it's time for the GOAT of soccer picks. Here he is, your host, Tijuana Rap.